Hey, how's it going, everybody? I felt inspired to do a pick a pile. I've been following a number of different tarot readers online, and I've been reading tarot for like 15 years now. And more recently, I've been doing expos and doing online readings and live readings for the last couple of years. And it's really been transformative for me. And these readings online are like amazing in how they connect beyond time. Like I'll find a reading that somebody had done like 6 months ago, and it just really spoke to what I was going through this last couple months, which was really intense and also transformative. And it was nice to have the readings to have something to grab onto and get some context and understanding. And it's a general reading for the collective, but there's something in there. It's like spirit always works through in some way. So I wanted to share some of that. I wanted to play with that a little bit and do it in my own unique way. This is basically commemorating Pluto, the planet Pluto moving into Aquarius. Finally, I'm a 29-degree Capricorn in Western astrology, and this Pluto transit has been rough. And I'm sure a lot of us can relate to that. Typically, the last degrees of it as it's transiting into a new sign will be the most intense. So that's maybe what a lot of you are feeling right now. And my inspiration with this reading is, what do we need to know before Pluto finally moves into Aquarius? Because as it goes back into Capricorn, it's an opportunity to revisit like old wounds, pains, structures, things that we thought were a solid reality in our life or the way things are and really aren't, where it's being revealed of how there's the potential and possibility for a greater unity and a greater collective harmony versus going it alone and following processes and structures or authority figures. We're really becoming our own authorities. So we're nearing the close of a transformative 16-year cycle. This was experienced by a lot of us as death, destruction, rebirth, and profound shadow work. This period has marked the beginning of the end for top-down structures that no longer serve the collective well-being. Though it may not look that way on the surface, the events will unfold as needed, leading us back to unity and oneness, because that's what Aquarius is about. In Western astrology, when Pluto's final shift from Capricorn to Aquarius happens on November 19th, it signals a turning point that prioritizes the whole rather than the few. The shift will likely manifest in unexpected and unconventional ways, as Aquarius energy is unique, expressive, unpredictable. So as a galactic shaman, I bring perspectives helping others reconnect with hidden truths about humanity's ancient history and cosmic origins, helping them connect to their inner spirit, to their inner essence, and helping them remember truly who they are while still having their human experience. And when we do that, we can process the emotions that are coming up. We can navigate these shifting, changing times and the upheaval that's happening all around us and really come through thriving from an internal sense. The external can be transforming constantly, but we can still find our center. We can still find a place of balance and really way show for a lot of others. Not that that's anything we need to do. We'll just naturally do it, and others are invited to do the same in this change. So the most crucial choice we face right now is how we respond. Do we choose health over division and love over harsh judgment? It's really easy to label others and to think they're idiots or stupid, but can we just hold space and be the transformative change that is ushering in right now, knowing that we don't really know the truth either? So my inspiration with this reading is to share what we need to know before Pluto finally moves into Aquarius. So each pile is for a different group. You can pick your pile. So here are the 3 piles. Sekhmet. I got Sekhmet in Egypt recently. Sekhmet's amazing, fierce protector, warrior goddess, lioness. You can call on Sekhmet whenever you're feeling like you need a little assistance or things feel dark and scary, and she will come and clear that space. And if she's not able to do it, you'll know that that's something for you to feel and be with, rather than thinking something's trying to impose and take you over, which it can go both ways sometimes, right? So that's why we have our guardians and our protectors. And she is our equal. She is a divine being of light. And how we approach things is how they interact with us. So, and same with this deck. This deck could be considered evil or demonic in some people's eyes because a lot of the beings have horns, but they're actually fairies and working with the elemental kingdom. So this is a really cool deck for those that are able to embrace the light and the shadow, that are a whole being, and they choose goodness, they choose to resonate at the highest frequency, but they also value and understand the shadow because they've integrated it, and therefore they're able to walk in between many different worlds. And that's what this energy represents. So if you resonate with that energy and you want to know what you need to know before Pluto goes into Aquarius for the next 20 years, this is your deck. So the next deck is Ascension with the Angels Tarot, represented with Buddha. And this deck was gifted to me by my friend Seth, who is the creator of this tarot deck. And it's actually really, really profound. The imagery and like the expansion of the tarot and the depictions has been really helpful for me as somebody that studies the tarot at a deeper esoteric occult way, for the understanding of how it leads us to the oneness, to the Christ embodiment, to become a master, to become the superhuman while incarnated. So this deck's really a lot of fun. And what's interesting about this is the Buddha, his head broke. So his head, he fell and his head fell off. And it was kind of one of those things like, what does this mean? And then I realized, we give meaning to things, but actually I think it's very appropriate, because it's when we live in our head, when we try to process our emotions through our head, then we become lost. But when we come into our heart, when we place our heart above our head, then we truly see the wisdom and the knowledge that's available to us. And I am going to glue Buddha's head back on because that's the way it should be. So no disrespect to anybody or any religion, but I thought it was kind of appropriate for the representation of a time when we are ascending, and it's really requiring us to go down into the body, down into the heart, rather than up into the head and the crown chakra and stuff, which is fun and great. But really embodying this cosmic wisdom and knowledge and energy that's coming to the planet at this time, because that's our role. Especially if you're watching this video, you're probably a starseed or at a very high level of consciousness. Otherwise, you would have turned it off immediately. You wouldn't even be entertaining the notion of tarot cards. And the final deck is represented with the Foo Dog. And this one has been a protector of mine for a long time. Whenever I did a breathwork ceremony, whenever I offered my galactic breathing ceremonies or did tarot readings or anything in public, I would have him somewhere to help keep away energies that were not going to be congruent or helpful as I did the readings. And for that deck is the Light Seers. And this is one I bought because when I saw it, I just fell in love with it. And I'm sure a lot of people, this is one of your favorites too, because it's really amazing. And it's descriptions, or it's just vibrancy and color, and it's more modern version of the Rider-Waite, which I love Rider-Waite, and I'll probably be doing some readings with that at some point too. So these are the piles. I know that was kind of long-winded, but I wanted to give a little context and background, and I like to teach as well as read. I'm Jason Donaldson. I'm a galactic shaman and a healer. To remember is to heal. So as we remember the place spirit, the energy, the essence of who we are able to overcome any and all things that come our way, even though we still have to experience them. And so your timestamps are below, and I'll see you in a moment. Okay, so pile number 1. Welcome. Excited to do your reading today, see what comes through. Have Sekhmet watching over, assisting, clearing the energies, and helping us usher in more of this transformation and change that's been going on for quite a while now with Pluto entering Aquarius. What it is we need to know. It's important for us to know where Pluto fully enters Aquarius. So the first card is Two of Fire reverse. So that's like the Two of Wands. And I had to actually look at the Two of Wands in the Rider-Waite to get some clarity, because it's different. And what really all I needed to do was look more closely at it and see that there are the two wands, and it's almost like a choice point. And you have the Vesica Pisces there, where you have like the two circles and where they meet. And this is really interesting because, you know, the Two of Wands has always been like a card of, I've seen it as like, what is it I want to create? I see all the expansion of the reality in front of me. I have this certain level of stability, like the world's in the palm of my hand. And what do I choose? What do I gravitate towards? What do I want to manifest? And it's really at the very beginning points. And what I'm getting right now is kind of like what we're going through right now is this, we feel like there's all this stuff we want to do and we have all these ideas and we're ready to go, but there's like so many of them and it's not quite totally clear yet. And to try to like immediately jump into it full bore would be too much. But it's kind of more like right now choosing the energy of what we want. You know, like, do we want more fighting and kind of illusion and control and manipulation, or do we want like more of a, you know, harmonious, united civilization and interaction with others? And you know, this is more comfortable sometimes to be fighting, to be separate, to walk outside and pretend like you don't see anybody. And then there's this reality where you're walking out and you're acknowledging people and you're smiling at them, even though you don't know what you're going to get back. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it's hard when we open up and be friendly to people and nothing comes back to us. And that's also what shifts them, because if you were to follow that person, that what you gave them probably lit them up as they walked down the road, like, oh, that was really, you know, that person was just smiling and happy and I warmed me a little bit. And so, you know, as they move down the road, maybe they would smile at the next person that smiled at them. It's like it cracks the veneer. So that's what I'm seeing with this, is like an energetic snapshot of where we're at right now, is this choice point of, you know, more of the old, or we have this new, like unified, but really like what's just the middle right now? What can we choose to embody, like an environment like neutral, but leaning one way or the other? A lot of us all say we'd want, you know, more of this utopian energy or unity, but like, do we really? Like, what would we have to give up and what would we have to face that might be scary or fearful? And then next card is going to be like, what's holding us back from, you know, this energy and embodying what we are and who we are. And we get the Hierophant reverse. This is like when we isolate, when we hide from the world, when we don't fully show ourselves. And not that we have to like bare our souls and be overly, you know, transparent in everything, but there's like certain things that we enjoy doing or we want to express to others, and when we hide it, that might be like something you've written or some kind of art you've made, or just you know, something that is kind of weird that you're afraid others will judge you for, and they probably will. And it'll be either like a happy, like a judgment, like, oh my God, that's great, or oh my God, you're a weirdo. But either way, you're going to get like some kind of movement in your life where, you know, the people are like, oh my God, that's amazing. That's what you want to gravitate towards. That's why, you know, when I moved to Hawaii and I started talking about aliens and, you know, past lives and all the weird like galactic stuff and experiences I had, people here were like, oh my God, tell me more. I've had similar experiences. Or have you ever had this happen? And it was fun. But when I lived in Arizona, it was like I'd start talking about aliens, which isn't really that too much of a stretch of the imagination. Especially now, people get it a little better, a lot better. Back like 15, 20 years ago, you know, they thought you were a lunatic if you believed in aliens or had an experience with one. So it's basically letting us know, like, to reveal, like, in order to embody more of what we want in the world, we're going to have to allow the revealing of what we've been hiding, what's been suppressed, what we've been denying, and it's coming up whether we want to or not. And so it's like the opportunity to embrace that and shine it out into the world. And our recent past, like what's led us to this point, is the Six of Fire. So that's the Six of Wands. And there's a lot of like fire energy in this. There's a lot of like this passion, this burning away, this transmutation. And so like the Six of Wands is going to be where, so I'm just going to keep going on this. I don't think I'm actually going to upload it because I'm trying to translate the cards into the Rider Waite a bit. And I'm going to, from this point forward, just really use my intuition and feel into the cards. And these ones I haven't worked with too much. So bear with me. We'll see where it goes. Maybe it'll be helpful. This might be even more powerful. As I was saying, so what led us to where we are now? And this is the Six of Wands. Traditionally, the Six of Wands would be like victory, arriving. It's kind of the lesser of the Chariot. It's movement, change. What else? So this is victory, travel, ease of travel, returning home, triumphant acclaim, pride. And the actual 4-hexa definition is a fairy in control of its power can transform any dull and lifeless garden into a vibrant testament of what one can achieve when focused. Of course, creating something praiseworthy is one thing. Being able to do so without letting all that adulation go to your head is a skill in itself. This fairy will learn that even her flowers, as strong and healthy as they are, will fall victim to time like the others. This garden will be just one of the many bright spots she will create in her lifetime. The Six of Fire fills your spirit with pride as you accomplish a task that you are happy with and receive recognition and admiration. This accomplishment heralds a time to enjoy the spotlight, soak up the success, and let it increase your self-esteem. This card may appear if you feel down or if your ego needs a boost, because knowing that success is on the horizon can increase the fire within. Of course, this card also serves as a reminder that we shouldn't rest on our laurels or attempt to entertain a past success well past the expiration date. So that's interesting. Yeah, I know that's been super helpful for me is this last couple of months with what I went through and basically feeling rejected and abandoned and less than, and another one, someone else was with the person I wanted to be with, and how much that hurts. So to know that, know that you're still worthy and that you're here at this time of change and transformation, and that everything that's led you to this point has been for you, as painful and as brutal as it might have been. You've arrived at the time, at the end, the Armageddon, the end times. And this isn't meaning the end of the world, just the end of the world as we know it, and the choice we have and how we navigate that. Either we let it overwhelm us, put us into fear and hate and like ruminating on what we wanted, like the relationship, the job, the family, the material thing, the whatever it was, like that isn't there and it's not going to be there. And embracing like what is here, and what can come from that, embracing it. Like, what is it that's in your life right now that's amazing? What is it that you're good at? What is it people have really praised you for? And that's what brought you to where you are now. As I see, we're in that middle point, like right here is the middle. And then what are we going to choose? And so this next card will help with that, because this represents our conscious mind, what we're focused on, our hopes, dreams, desires. And again, this Three of the Wands, maybe I didn't shuffle this good enough or what, but like the Three of Fire is like the Three of Wands. And this card has been called like the Lord of Trust. And it's knowing who we are, knowing where we're going, having a ability to overcome. But with it being reversed, we're seeing, let me see if I can find this. Right now, I'm just loving myself and accepting myself, that I don't have to be perfect with this. Really, that's the task, I believe, with this card, is to trust myself, not beat myself up. So with this card is to trust yourself and not beat yourself up. It's okay. It's okay if things aren't exactly the way you want them to be. Yeah, I mean, there it is. It's like there's the expanse of my kingdom. Like, what do I want to create? It's along the same lines of this two of wands, you know, it's like, what is it you want to create and feeling like you can't create it, feeling like you've tried before in the past and it sent you into this isolation. It sent you into this like place of inner reflection, which was probably purposed, and it helped you overcome those things and rise to the occasion. And now you're at that precipice, you're at that choice point of now's the time. Are you ready for one more push, one more time? Can you go forward and do what you tried so many times in the past and it didn't seem to work? So that's what I'm getting with that. And it's helpful to pull out these Rider-Waite cards. I may do that in other readings and stuff too, as I do this live and or recorded online and live. Moving forward, the energy we're going to be working with over the next week or weeks is the Chariot. Wow, that's a fucking trip, because that's the lesser Chariot and that's the actual major arcana Chariot. And this is like movement. This is like victory. This is like you've accomplished it. Just step into it. Do it. What is the thing that really lights you up, that scares the shit out of you to do in public? And maybe you're already doing it or you haven't done it yet, but like now's the time. You will be successful. You will be victorious in it. And that success and victory may not come exactly the way you expect, but it's almost like you can't not do this. It's the push of the universe coming through. And the next card is Five of Fire. So yeah, I don't think I shuffled these good enough. But again, with the wands, the Five of Fire reversed, and this is like competition, games, battle. And when it's reversed, it's like, you know, and this position is like the card of action. Like, what action are we taking or not taking? What action could we take? And with the Five of, you know, fire, it's almost like fight fire with fire. So like, yeah, that's interesting, because that never really works, does it? To fight fire with fire, it just creates more fire. So the 501 reversed is like, quit fighting, you know, quit fighting your own self. Like, the only reason we would fight anyone outside of us is because we're fighting our own internal self, and we're tired of doing it, or we're not realizing we're doing it, and we need something external to focus on. Like, we're so frustrated with trying to heal ourselves and dive into the abyss and correct everything we think is wrong with us, that we're looking for something outside to distract us. And that's what I learned when I was diving into all the conspiracy stuff when I was in my early 30s, you know, like years ago. Was at a certain point I realized, wait a minute, I'm not addressing my own stuff. You know, I'm kind of like blaming others for where I'm at. And not saying that that stuff isn't legit and actually happening, but it's like a great quote I heard somebody say one time is, you don't go out to save the world with a sink full of dirty dishes. It's like, let me do these dishes, let me handle my shit first, and then I can go out and really show up and transform what I see is wrong around me. And, you know, that's the same, those dishes are the same if that stuff that's out in the world is around you right now and you can impact change with it, that's part of the dishes. And so that's the caveat. Like, if you can impact change and it's showing up at your door and you're not actively going out trying to fight it or find it, then that's the opportunity too, because that's the same thing. So that's what I'm getting is stop fighting yourself and like surrender to what it is these things are trying to tell you, why you're being pushed to go within and face these things that you think didn't work, but actually were driving you to where you are now. The Four of Fire, shuffle is very good. It's just all fire. Well, that's what I mean. We got Sekhmet there, so that would make sense, right? It's fire and fiery And the Four of Fire is in this position represents like our environment, and this is like stability, foundations, presence. And this feels like in the Crowley deck, which I don't really like to use. I'm not a big fan of his, but in that deck, there's a castle. The Four of Wands is represented as a castle, and the word power, this strong wall or barrier we create against the world. And you see them pulling her out of this chrysalis. So it's like we've been in a chrysalis. We've protected and walled ourselves off from the world. And then now, the invitation is to open up from that. Like the whole of the planet is opening from the walls are falling down, the chrysalis is opening, and there's this kind of fear or panic about being exposed and being seen because of what we experienced in the past. But it's going to be different now. Rise to the occasion and pursue what we really want to do. It'll work out. It's time. So the next card, wow, holy shit, Queen of Fire. This is just all fucking fire in here. Holy shit. Wow. And it's like a moth, fire moth. Wow, I gotta read that one. That's just a fucking trip. And because that's what we need to know. The card in that position represents like, what is it we need to know? Let me oh, you can see that one. It's this one you can't see quite as well because of the glare. I'm gonna work on my lighting and stuff too. Maybe I'll still post this. Queen of Fire. When I was so fortunate enough to meet the Queen of Fire, what instantly came across was its commanding grace and self-assuredness. This robust and energetic fairy captivated the evening sky and illuminated all within its presence. With a smile so warm and genuine, a heart that seemed to glow from within, and a thick black wings dripping with flames, this divine creature could go anywhere it desired. The Queen of Fire is an inspiring entity and offers you support when attracting the right person or situations. This is an upbeat energy that helps build relationships and provides the right amount of self-esteem when you are feeling low. When the Queen of Fire appears in a reading, your situation may benefit from an attitude shift. Are you feeling confident? Can you win over those around you when support is needed? This fairy may also appear when health is a concern, as this vibrant queen is all about inspiring others to be their healthiest self. Okay, so that's interesting. So are you feeling confident? Like I'm on fire, that's for sure, with all this, right? And I think that's what a lot of this is like what I'm getting from this reading is when I read for people, I'm reading for myself and not to hide that what comes up for me as I'm feeling them. So like I'm feeling this collective energy and I'm feeling it run through me and I'm making it about me when it's really not just about me. And so as I move forward and doing these readings, I'm going to really keep that in mind that this is a benefit for all and that people that don't resonate with it don't have to and don't need to. And so the final potential outcome is we got air finally, 8 of air reversed. And so this one, is interesting as that's like the 8 of swords. And this card came up in a reading I did for someone today. And it was representing like the environment around them. And this is the card where like the mind basically is running us. The mind is just driving us freaking crazy. And we try to sleep at night. We can't sleep. We try to focus on things and we can't focus because the mind is just so full of thoughts, so busy and cutting itself with its own sharpness and its own wit and its own intelligence. And the fact that this is reversed is letting us know that this is an illusion, that what we're going through right now is letting go of the old programs and beliefs and ideas, the things that restrict us and hold us bound so that we can't really fly and emerge. Like that's kind of what we're seeing here is what she's coming out of. This is what the cocoon was. This is what the chrysalis was. This is what third dimension was like a lot of intellectually thinking about things and trying to figure stuff out when really it's just about surrender and letting go and letting go of the mind, trying to figure it out. trusting the body, trusting the heart. And because we had Sekhmet as our protector, which very fortunate because there's a lot of fire here. Thank you, Sekhmet. Thank you for buffering all this fire and then the air that we're blowing on it. And that's that's kind of what it is like we're blowing on all this fire with the thoughts we're entertaining. When really it's more about just like follow the passion, use that fire to really light you up and move you forward and and like go somewhere with it. You're going to go somewhere with it if you embrace it. Like this is movement. This being can go wherever they want. So, and this is actually kind of cool reading. So maybe I'll upload it. So I pull a card from the White Lion deck. See what comes through. Just one card, just random pull. Decide. Holy shit. That's what I was saying right there. So decide. It's one of the action cards. Oh my God, this is a trip. Wow, I'm going to do more of these readings now. I'm just feeling that. How fun this is. Or at least for me. Maybe it's fun for you guys too. Maybe it's hopefully it's helpful at least. Decide. What guidance do we have with this? From rest to action in the blink of a cat's eye. So the basic guidance is now is the time to take decisive action. Consult your guidance, then move forward immediately, knowing that time is right. Your leadership is needed in this situation. So action and implement. By taking the lead, you will assure the best outcome for all concerned. Trust your angels, guides, and lions to show you the best way. Take the lead and extend your circle of influence. Advanced guidance. As a lion warrior shaman, know that decisiveness, combining purpose and vision, will bring you to your highest and best outcome. Although there is no guidelines, your heart will lead you. Living on the brink of evolutionary change means breaking new ground. Truth is of the essence. No dogma, no set formula, prescribed rules, false standards. Only the knowing within your soul. Purpose is what drives your deep determination, and vision is the view into your highest outcome. Nothing materializes without vision, but equally, a vision without an underlying sense of purpose, an intrinsic calling, is nothing more than a good idea. Now is the time to be strong-minded and determined. Be resolute in your actions and unwavering in your path ahead. Avoid stagnation and clinging to past structures that no longer serve you. Wow, yeah, it's like that. Yeah, like, wow, just like let go of the fact that you may think you're a failure or because something didn't work the way you wanted to or something doesn't look like it's going to work, that's going to be the case. So that's what I'm getting with that is like this is what I had to do is like decide to be happy. Decide to like get up and sing and dance, like put on a song you like and dance and sing to it. Even if you may cry while you do it, or even if it feels weird, like it's like decide and choose and move and like feel it too, feel the sadness, feel the anger, whatever's there, but like embrace the light, embrace the love that you are, because that is who you really are. So yeah, I mean, now is the time of choice and now is the time of stepping into your leadership. And I also wanted to pull, Wisdom of the Galactic. So this is my friend, Dr. Lisa Thompson, created this Oracle deck. I used to do UFO tours with her. She still does them here on the Big Island. It was a lot of fun. See a bunch of stuff up there. Use military grade night vision goggles. And there's so much happening up there. And this Oracle deck is super helpful with tuning into our galactic family. And we'll see what message they have for us and which beings are going to step forward. And just pull one card. This is reptilian adaptability. So a lot of people like give reptilians a bad rap, but a lot of them, just like any being has evolved and out of its like baser survival needs and like domination and things that we think we need to keep us safe into their involved aspect of like heart embodiment and unity and consciousness, because that's what all of creation is. And eventually everything comes back to the oneness that created it, to the love that created it. No matter how far something drifts, it always come back. And so that's what these reptilians represent, is the ones that took that journey and came into wholeness. And the card is adaptability. And that's perfect for us right now as we're transforming into a fourth dimension and all the upheaval and weirdness and seemingly like difficulty in finding a strong foundation. Like it might feel like everything's, being ripped open or falling apart, but really we can adapt to that. We can grow from that because we know how to go inside and really find the power and truth of who we are. So hopefully that was helpful. Yeah, that was interesting. That was a lot of fire. So I'm gonna look through the rest of the deck. Actually, let's do that right now while I'm at it. You can be a part of that too. And see, did I not shuffle it good enough or what? Like there's earth, water, fire, water, earth, fire, air. I mean, it's pretty like mixed in. It's not like they're all in one order. There's water, earth, temperance, star. So yeah, I mean, they're shuffled pretty well. That's a trip. Like there's two waters together. But yeah, they're pretty well shuffled. Because I wasn't sure if I put all these together or something, because that's just weird. Like we just had a lot of fire. So, that's Sekhmet energy for you. So, yeah, for you guys to embrace your passion, express it to the world, and know that you can adapt in any now moment. You'll adapt and really shine in this if you can embrace the passion rather than the mental projections and trying to figure everything out. Because, being smart can also hurt us. Like if you're overthinking things, you're not connected with your passion and your heart. So that would be the advice that I feel like Pluto is really trying to let you know in the last phases of Capricorn is like, don't overplan and strategize and try to have contingencies and everything. Just follow your passion. Like when Pluto gets into Aquarius, it's going to be about like, let's fucking go and let's have some fun and let's do some magic and this just, be a little reckless and, do everything that Capricorn wouldn't do because it's so methodically planned and structured. And now it's like, fuck it. When you first move out of your house when you're a kid, it's that kind of vibe. Like, I'm going to do this thing and have fun with it. Like how I'm doing this reading. You probably won't see a pick a pile like this anywhere on the net. So anyway, thank you all. I love you guys and I'll catch you later. Okay, so pile number 2, this is the Buddha pile. It's in the Ascension with the Angels deck. I changed the lighting a little on this one. It's a little too bright with the other one. I'm gonna invest in some better lights. I'm always constantly moving, and so kind of make do with what I have, but there's not that great a lighting in here, so invest in that. Maybe a better camera. Anyway, it's about you guys. This is pile number 2. And we're going to see, like, what is it you need to know before Pluto leaves Capricorn for the final time. It'll be moving into Aquarius for the next 20 years. And see what messages want to come through. So the first card we have is the Magician in reverse, which is interesting because this would be like the energetic snapshot of what's happening in this moment in your energy. And it's like wanting to manifest, trying to manifest something in a certain way, and it's not really working. Like you can feel you have the ability to do it and you know you can do it, but it's not quite the right time yet, or it's not quite lining up yet. And it's close. And this is what I was getting for a lot of us right now is we can feel like all these things we're inspired to do or to create. And we even have the vision of it, but it doesn't quite feel right just yet. And a friend of mine and I are going to collaborate on something, and we're both just in like planning mode. It's like we're not going to take any like solid actions until the new year. That's how much everything feels kind of in flux and limbo. And so that's what I'm kind of vibing for you guys is like, you are a powerful creator and manifester, and step in your power and do the things you want to do. But it's like you may not see the immediate results that you want until like later, kind of thing. But let's dive, keep going with this and see where it goes, because that's just the initial read. And so that's the initial read on the energy. It's like the magician that's very powerful but not quite able to manifest yet. And it's not like their ability, it feels more like timing or the alignment of what can be received from that magic. Like if nobody can see what you're offering them because they're not at the right vibratory level, then it's not going to work. So you almost have to sometimes wait. This came up with a reading where a person was asking about a partner. I usually don't divinate, but I could feel there was somebody coming, but it was going to take a little while because they're processing something. And when they're done with that, then they'll be ready for a relationship. So to meet that person now would be, it wouldn't work. It just, the timing's not right. And it's kind of the same with this. It's just the timing's not quite right. But let's see. This is the energy that comes in that works with that. So it's either the challenge or the energy that can help move us forward for this whole of the whole spread we're going to pull. The Three of Swords, and this is a card of basically when you're really intelligent and you have a sharp sword, you can cut yourself with it. So everybody wants a sharp sword, but if they're not paying attention, they cut themselves with it. So what's coming in is the energy of heartache. And this is actually a good thing. Like a lot of people don't like this card, but what happens when you have your heart, like even though a heart can't be broken, but when you experience like loss or grief, you feel it in your heart and you fucking feel it. Like there's no denying it. The whole world seems like it's falling apart, but you feel, and you feel deeply. And that's what this energy is that you're working with, and we're all working with now, is the ascension is about feeling what we feel, feeling the emotions. And the key is not to think about it, not to go into the stories, not to try to figure it out, not to try to judge it or manage it, because that's what we've done in the past. And so that's what a magician will try to do. Magician will try to manipulate and manage things. They'll try to like change their external to suit their needs and get what they want. And that's great. And it's fun and it's awesome. But we're not in that time right now. It's like we're in a time of we have to face these emotions because they're kind of like, in the military, there's this idea that, no man gets left behind, no person gets left behind. And, and it's kind of like that with the ascension, like no parts of you are going to be left behind. So like all the emotion that comes up and the things that you feel are like parts of you. And it's not that it's not the story of what you think created that feeling. It's the actual feeling of it and being with it and loving that part too. And this is challenging, but actually loving that sadness, loving that fear. And you're doing it from a place of like your higher self, your higher energy field. And that's going to transform and transmute it and change it. Like you're just lovingly acknowledging something that you've pushed away and tried to manage your whole life. And when we do that, we go through a portal, and what opens up on the other side is amazing. And no longer is all this energy and power used to try to hold that emotion away. And you can start to manifest and upright your magician. I almost knocked the head off the Buddha, which is really appropriate because that was the point of this pick in this pile. If you resonated with like, oh my God, I'm in my head so much, the Buddha's head was falling off. I'm going to glue it back on. We got it rested on there because it just feels right to have it like that. But it's like disconnecting from the head for a bit when the emotion comes up, and just being in the body and being in the heart, even though it hurts, because we protect the heart with a lot of different things, a lot of different memories, a lot of different thoughts, a lot of different coping skills and techniques, journaling and writing and running and all that stuff. And it's all valuable, but sometimes you want to just feel it first and actually fall into it, but not with the mind. You fall into it with the feeling and with the breath and with the presence of spirit. And that's what the breath is the presence of spirit. Rather than collapsing, holding your hand in your face, you open and you breathe and you still feel it, but you're fucking spirit. You're fucking all powerful. you are a magician going to a higher level than just simple conjuring of illusions. You're going to be an embodied master. That's way more powerful. Wow. Okay. That's cool. All right. So, and this is, so the long past, this is basically, again, like the subconscious mind, what's working with this, what's got us to where we are now, with the, where it's got you to where you are now, is like the idea of the perfect life, the perfect relationship, the perfect family, the perfect parents, and how that wasn't the case. Like, no matter how good or bad anybody's childhood was, it's very rare you meet somebody who was like, oh, I had a good childhood, it was perfect. There was still stuff, and that's what it is like, this is what is still lingering a bit and is weighing on the heart, is the things from the past that you had an idea of how things should have been, how, like, the perfection of things. And that's very rarely never the case until we find the gratitude and the presence to be like, oh, I get it now. I get why that happened. And that comes from the wisdom and the realization of feeling what that led you to inside your own self. So basically, they're just acknowledging that this is the root of that, of why the magician is working and playing in illusions and holding on to pain, is this idea of perfection, this idea of how things should be, what success is. And a lot of this is the old three-dimensional reality of, in order to be successful, I have to make like 200,000 a year. And in order to be successful, I have to, be married and have kids, or I have to have a certain whatever it is, whatever that measurement is that people have. If you're an actor or actress, or if you're a singer, one of the worst things that can happen is you become super successful, and then you got to maintain that success. Everyone wants to make it big, and then it's like, oh my God, I got to maintain this now. What do I do now? Rather than just like, what's the passion and what's the fire and the fun? And so that's what this card represents, is like, what is it that is out of balance? What is it that you're not quite seeing? And there it is with the infinity symbol there, just like with the magician, and finding balance, finding the infinite power, the oneness. And what I loved about this symbol is that, this is like positive, this is negative, and both are the same. It's just looking at it from different perspectives. And you could look at this in the political landscape right now, and a lot of things is like, this is the right candidate, no, this is the right candidate, and they're both basically kind of the same, because in how polarized people are around them. Like, people are saying pretty much the same kind of thing, but from a different vocabulary. And so really what the magician does, and really what the master does, is they find the middle path. They find, where's the balance, where's the neutrality, so that I can see clearly and then choose and navigate my reality from my empowered place. And this is similar to what pile one got, was working with the passion, and like, what are you going to choose? Are you going to choose like this side? Are you going to choose that side? Are you going to find the middle and really like embody your truth and your power? And so next card is really awesome in this position, is hopes, dreams, desires, your conscious mind, what you're manifesting. And this is like a portal of energy. This is the support from the universe to create and overcome like karmic patterns, old addiction patterns, old patterns of thinking. There's an opening happening. There's a shift and a transformation that's happened, where you're moving into this new world and finding balance with it, finding the stability. One of the challenging things of being like a polarity integrator, or somebody that walks between two extremes, and maybe you have that in a family situation where one side's one way and the other side's the other way, and it's like they don't ever see eye to eye, and that plays out inside of you sometimes. And this is what this is representing, is that you're finding the middle path, and that middle between the two can be like a razor's edge, and it's easy to teeter one way or the other. You have the support of the universe with this. It's all right there for you. The Emperor. So this is the energy you'll be working with over the next week or two, the energy that's coming online. And very much there's that same circle. There's that like energy coming forth, Pluto moving out of Capricorn. This is kind of like when the Emperor visits, like before he leaves for a long journey or quest, and leaves you in command or in as the regent of the empire or something, where they're like, here, remember the things I taught you. Remember, how to navigate the pain and the suffering, how to like really choose your power instead of the illusion. So that's what's coming through, is like remembering the lessons and then moving forward. So it feels like a portal. It feels like a movement of energy that's really quite profound. And then the card of action is the Ace of Wands, and the Ace of Wands being reversed. How I'd read this in this moment is like knowing what, kind of like the thumbs down, like, here we go, thumbs down, where it's like, nah, I don't really want to do that. I don't really like that. I'm not really about that. And being okay with it, that you don't have to go along with what others say or do or want you to do or be like. You can walk your own path. And it's a little scary at first, but you have the support. You have the ability to do that. And it might mean shedding some people from your life. And this isn't a bad thing, because more always show up. And Ace of Pentacles for your environment, like what you're navigating currently. And this is nothing we can really change. It's just kind of the way it is. It's something we navigate. So Ace of Pentacles reversed. I'm seeing with the cloud there is really interesting, because I'm seeing it more like it's being clouded, like the resources and the material gains and the things we want to manifest are kind of cloudy right now, and they're not fully manifesting in the way we want, which is kind of like what we were seeing here with the Magician reversed. So again, I think what's happening with that is it's not your power to like create and do and be successful in the way you want. It's just the timing's off right now. Like there's a lot going on with people's shifts and transformations, and a lot of people are going through this energy right now, and they're not really receptive or can't really maybe hear or see what it is you're offering. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't keep doing it. It's just don't expect maybe to like force anything, a big move, and expect like huge results right away. Not saying it couldn't happen, but it's be patient, but keep moving forward. Absolutely. And then what it is you need to know, Two of Wands. So Two of Wands, this came up in the other reading too in pile one, was like, what is it you want to do? What is it you want to create? And not really knowing. And that, I think, speaks to this, is there might be a number of things you want to do or create, but like to choose one thing and to move forward with it and to like stay focused on that. You can try to do multiple things, yeah, but like what's the one thing you really want to focus and move forward with, and trusting in that you'll be supported. And then the potential outcome is Seven of Swords reversed. That's not very pleasant. Let me see what that represents. Oh man, I'm super tired too. Where's it? Okay. Because Seth always has a great take on the tarot, my friend that created this deck. So the swords, and the swords represent like our mind, our intellect, the thoughts that cut at us. And this is fitting because with that Three of Swords, Pentacles always got swords last. Oh yeah, I guess swords are last. No, Pentacles are usually last. Whatever. Angels do stuff different. So Seven of Swords. A blindfolded figure is easily deceived because of what she can't see. Wow, it's just like this one, isn't it? Like she's not really looking and paying attention. While our awareness is only aligned with truth, and the light, our linear mind is the only place where deception can occur. In addition to deceiving ourselves, others can use our minds against us to deceive us because logic is not absolute. Our angels know how to speak to us at our level of awareness to ensure that we flow with information that is for our highest good. So this is basically when our own mind deceives us. And that's what I was seeing with this here is that with the Three of Swords is you're very powerful, you're a magician, super intelligent, and we're in a time in the world right now where you're not going to be able to manage your emotions, people, and things around you with your intellect alone anymore. It's going to require um, doing something different and embracing more of your passion and more of what is it that lights you up, and can you do it without the need for accolades and praise and markers of success, and doing it just for the pure joy of it. And this reminds me of the story of like the monks, since we're got the Buddha energy of where they would basically have to go like clean toilets, scrub floors with toothbrushes, and do it from a place of joy and reverence and gratitude. So no matter what you're doing it because you truly know that you're in divine inspiration, that it has a divine purpose, that it's very, very important, and then not take it that seriously either. So really like finding joy in what it is you want to do and letting go of the need for any kind of external gratification or uh, accolades for that, at least right now. And then it will show up later is what I'm feeling. And we got a couple oracle cards to pull. This is the Oracle of Delphi. I actually went to Delphi. It's great in Greece. And this is a great deck because it helps us pinpoint what it is, maybe if you're struggling, like what is the thing I really want to do? And I can do a lot of different things, or maybe I'm confused. What is the, if you're not sure, this deck can help with that. So we'll see what is the message that Oracle Delphi has for us. Good thing we could focus on. Pile 2, let's see. And we get Sanctuary, relax, soothe, revive, return. So it's similar to like this 10 of Cups with working with the subconscious, allowing yourself to, just chill out, relax. What is it you want to do? What do you enjoy doing? What are you passionate about that's fun for you? And not make it about like, what do I need to do and what do I have to do and what's going to make me money? But, what revives me, what soothes me. And I heard somebody talking about this, the CIA guy, the guy that's on a bunch of podcasts and stuff that says he was in the CIA and talks about these different things from that experience. And one of them he's saying like, in the CIA, they wanted everyone to know, like, what is it you're really good at? And what is it you can do for like from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and be energized from it? You want to get tired, you could keep doing it that whole time. And you actually have more energy as a result of doing this thing. So finding what that is and then cultivating it. And that's kind of like what I'm getting from this is like, what is it that lights you up? What is it that's fun and it doesn't feel like work? And it might be something, like you wouldn't even think of, like playing music or and you're like, how can I make money playing music? And the point is like to embrace the energy and the joy of that music, because that's more of the fourth dimensional reality, is you're creating a frequency and a vibration, because you're going to do other things too, but maybe music's the path, we don't know, but you're creating a field of energy. So what is it that really lights you up, really excites you and is fun for you? And really focus on that, make time for that. And you're still going to do the other things you need to do, but raising your vibe, raising your energy from passion and creation is going to be super helpful. So that's the message from the Oracle. And I can also have the Golden Future. So these were the Oracle decks I was guided to pull out for you guys. And the Golden Future is basically kind of like the fifth dimensional reality and what that would be like. And sometimes it's a stretch of the imagination and it seems a little like too airy fairy or like yeah, right, come on, like that's never going to happen. But that's what's fun about it. It's like being open to the possibility of that and letting go of that rational, practical, pragmatic part of us, especially, coming out of Pluto and Capricorn, is like, let's be a little crazy and weird and wild and embrace something that sounds utterly ridiculous but could be possible. And here's the card for that. Group consciousness, embrace oneness. Really not that radical of a concept. A lot of people understand this concept now more and more, is that we are one united energy, one being. We come from a divine source, and we're a fractal spark of that divine. And more as we ascend, as we come into unity, as the frequencies on the planet raise and the consciousness raises, more and more people are realizing we're not separate from each other. We still have like separate ideas and beliefs, but even that's going to change as we move forward. Like right now is that choice point. It's like, do we want pain and suffering from our own mind, or do we want to embrace like our passions and our creativity, even though we still may not feeling well, or we're witnessing others suffering? Can we still, be that loving presence for them and ourselves, and do what we choose, do what lights us up, to see the blessing that this human experience is, and still feel what it means to be human. So that's what I'm getting for you guys, is to basically put a bow on all this. I'd be like, you're doing awesome. You're doing amazing. And if things don't feel like they're working, it's because the timing's not quite there yet. And to really it's kind of like duck diving a wave. Like a big wave came and you didn't quite catch it, or you weren't supposed to catch it, and like you dove under it. And right now it's kind of like you're diving under a wave. And part of you is like, why am I not accomplishing anything? Why am I not, riding a wave? Why, all these why nots? But it's kind of like you're going down so that you can pop up again, and then you can catch the wave. That's the best analogy I can give. So it's like, I feel like collectively we're all going through that. We all kind of duck dived a big fucking wave. And now it's like, you're holding your breath and enjoy that place. And I don't know if anybody here listening does breath work, but some of the best part is after you've done the deep breathing and you get to the breath hold, it's like, oh God, yes, like just hold my breath. And you feel all the tingling, and you feel like the sensations, and then you feel that kind of like, oh, I want to breathe but I don't want to yet, and you feel like, oh, I got to swallow but I'm not going to. It's just so much happening. And so like enjoy the process, and find the thing you really love and enjoy, and be with that. So thank you all. Hopefully this was helpful, and I'll catch you next time. All right, pile number 3, Light Seers Tarot. We're going to pull cards to see what it is you need to know before Pluto goes into Aquarius. And, this is all just for fun, and maybe you'll get something out of it. And if it doesn't really resonate, whatever the message is, just turn it off. You can check one of the other piles. Or, yeah, there's lots of other great readers out there. And I'm just having fun with this. I usually don't do pick a piles, but I may start doing more. And the Oracle cards that wanted to come through for you guys was the Dragon Oracle and the White Lion Leadership. So this is for the Foo Dog, number 3. So if you chose the Foo Dog, which is basically, it is like a lion, and it's a protector. There's a yin and a yang, and so the yang would be kind of like the alpha that's out front, protecting that physical space, and the yin would be the one that's like the omega, protecting the energy field closest to us. And so I've always felt like this being is much more yang. That's how I use this item, was for protection from physical things. All right, so let's see what comes through for you guys. So the first card, we have the Page of Cups. And so like an energetic snapshot of what's happening right now, and what you need to know before Pluto goes into Aquarius is, what I'm getting is like getting your head out of the clouds, when pigs fly kind of mentality. And this is interesting because some of the other readings, it was the other 2 piles, it was kind of like embracing more of, the absurd, and the kind of like overly optimistic type energy. And this one, what is it that's going to help ground you into reality? Where you've really been working with, what I'm getting a sense of is like your own spirituality, with your ascension, with raising your vibration, maybe even doing medicine journeys and a lot of meditation or other practices that really help you connect to the higher realms and the higher chakras. And then what's kind of happening now is like this grounding coming in, where it's like, what is it that it brings you down to earth and you enjoy? Where there's a lot of us that maybe didn't want to be here. You know, if you're a star seed and you're like, I know there's better planets, so there's more out there. There's other places I'd rather be, and yet here we are. And so that's what the message I'm getting is like, you're here now for a reason, and it may not be the one you think. We all want to raise our vibe and, you know, be like masters, but sometimes it's just like going to a regular job and showing up in that energy of like the master, of the remembering of who you truly are, and that you're just playing a role like in a movie or something, or a play. Like, oh, this is what everyone thinks I'm doing, but I'm actually, you know, bringing in a frequency and a vibe. And it's not like we're better than them or anything. It's just a lot of us remember, and in the remembering, it makes it more powerful for everyone else to remember. So that's what I'm getting just initially, but we'll dive a little deeper into this and see what's there. So the next card, wow. So with the Page of Cups and then the Seven of Cups, it's kind of like having a hard time making a decision and really following that through, where it's been like something comes in and kind of shuts it down. Like, well, this won't exactly be perfect, or I'm not sure how it's going to look. And so having so many options, you don't really choose one, or if you choose one, you kind of crap out on it. And I can relate to that totally, because you're good at a lot of different things and you could do a lot of different things. And then there's also a part of you that needs to be perfect in a sense. And so that can like shut us down and keep us from continuing. And this is from the long ago past. And this is what you've been working through and what you're overcoming. This is actually not a bad card in this position, because it's really, you know, your infinite potentials and possibilities. You know, you are a master. And in this lifetime, it's how do I bring that here? And a lot of times that can be frustrating because we're in a different kind of reality. It was very dense and heavy, and it wasn't easy to manifest like we did in other lifetimes. And so other people around us may be able to do it sometimes, but we walk a different path, or we have a different situation laid out from our higher self, or what we want to experience. Because we can all do it. And then some people, it seems a little easier, or they work through whatever it is that was blocking it. Let me see, before I get into it even further, let me see what this energy of Pluto is. It's finally teaching us after this 16 years, so we can really shift into the new. And it feels like with the Three of Cups there, and you know, that's the card of celebration and reverence and connection, and I'm getting with it reversed, is kind of like, yeah, I can relate to this because I'm a galactic shaman and healer, and I do breathwork sessions and these breathwork ceremonies that are really like intricate and involve my training as a marriage and family therapist. And I'm not licensed in that, and I didn't plan on it, but I'm kind of gravitating towards getting licensed, like starting to see clients in a clinical setting rather than just doing mentoring and tarot readings and stuff like that, which I love and I'm still going to do. But there's a part of me that's wanting more of that stability and more of that bridging of worlds. And I thought I could jump into like the new earth and do what I love and have everything come to me. And maybe I can, but it's like there's another path I'm meant to walk. And that's what it feels like with you too, where there's a requirement, or like an invitation from the universe, ground in more, become more grounded. And that might be like taking a job that maybe you would seem is beneath you or not important, but it is important, because that's going to move energy in a direction of connecting with people and opening up more of your expansion and your abundance, and ultimately like your mastery of what you came here to do. Let me see the next card represents. So the Knight of Swords, and this is our conscious mind, hopes, dreams, actions we're taking. And that's what this basically is take action, like seize the moment, seize the opportunity, that now is the time to use your intelligence and your focus and your drive to move towards something. And what that is, I don't know. We can pull some cards on that. Actually, let's pull a couple cards on that. I got my Rider-Waite deck here and see. And like I said, I'm just playing with this pick-a-pile, and I do readings very differently than others. I read as a healer, so it's like I like to break down what the cards represent, what I feel intuitively, what the message is coming through, and also like what's the patterns of human behavior, and what is the energy saying would be helpful in navigating this, like what's spirit saying that's going to help us navigate the energies, shifts, and transformation. So what is this? What does the Knight of Swords represent in this position? Let's pull a couple cards on that. So we got the Eight of Cups reversed, Two of Wands, and Queen of Cups reversed. It feels like overcoming stagnancy, overcoming the seeking for things, and the trying to find what you've already found. It's like what I'm getting is, you know, you've found the thing, now move towards it. So it'd be like, say you're looking for your motorcycle, or you're looking for your purpose, and it feels like you found it, and yet you're still kind of looking for it, because it's more fun to look for it than to actually step into it and live it and be it. So that's what I'm getting from this for you right now. And, you know, take it in if it resonates. If it doesn't, just let it go. But I'm feeling like you found what it is that you're good at, or that you want to do, or that would be helpful to people, and to take action towards that. And sometimes that's just taking a regular job or something that's not associated with that. And then that inspires you with the structure and the movement to do what you really want to do on the side, kind of thing, and bring more stability and balance. So let me see what the energies are coming in over the next week or so. Yeah, I'm getting like with the Page of Swords is something you can step into and learn and study and be a part of. And it may not even be anything you're that interested in, but it's going to motivate you to like get into more structure and more of like a grounded sense. Because this Aquarian energy, when it comes in, it feels like it's going to maybe spin you out a little bit, because a lot of other people are going to spin out from their intellectual place, because you have a lot of, it feels like passion and emotion, and you are emotionally intelligent, and you are connected to those parts, and you've really cultivated that. And then now it's like, well, what about the mind, and what about the action kind of thing? Like, what is it you want to bring, like that Capricorn energy in of, I'm going to do this thing and I'm going to stick with it for a year or something like that. You know, I'm going to try this out, and I'm going to really be with it, and then still do what you love too, rather than just doing what a Capricorn would do and just forcing things and needing to follow a process and structure. But in your case, it's like bringing in that structure. And for when the Aquarian, when Pluto moves into Aquarius, and things may shift and change. And I think you're going to find yourself helping a lot of people because of what you've gone through and what you've discovered deep inside, no matter where you're at. And that's going to lead you to something else. So it's really what I'm getting with this shift is be around people, and really follow some kind of routine, at least for your case, for pile 3. And when we're talking about action, here's the card of action with the Page of Pentacles. So, you know, how I always see this is, especially with this deck, with the Light Seers, is when we get grounded, when we get centered, we find like a stability, we find a balance. And it's, you know, I used to do Tai Chi, and I still do it here and there, and Qigong and stuff, but like I did it really dedicated, like 3 to 5 times a week. And we do it for like 3 to 6 hours sometimes, because we do push hands afterwards. But Tai Chi is an internal martial arts practice, and you really work with presence, with your breath, with the movement of the body, with your balance. And what I found I was doing, I actually got sick doing it, because I was holding so much tension, where my form looked really good and I had good balance and everything looked like it was matched up, but I was holding all this tension and a need to be perfect and have it be perfect. And so when I let go and I just really allowed like for the balance of my body and get in a relaxed place, it was almost like starting over. I had to just like let go and find the balance point naturally without, the tension in the muscles, because that's not Tai Chi. It's supposed to be relaxed like a noodle. And that's why Tai Chi is unbeatable if done well, and a total disaster if tight and not done well. So that's what I'm getting with this is the action is to like really root and ground yourself and allow kind of that wobble and that discomfort of being in a rooted place to allow you to strengthen your will and your ability to overcome things that in the past have made you uncomfortable or you've not wanted to face, because now you're strong enough, you've done the work and you're ready. So it's like planting yourself somewhere. And I'm getting like maybe like for a year, like I'm going to try this for a year and see how it goes and like stick to that. And then you can assess at the end of the year like, oh, okay, that was interesting. Now what am I inspired to do? And you'll still be inspired as you're going along too. But this is what I'm getting, and this is a collective reading, a general reading, and I think that actually would benefit a lot of people, really anybody. Like when we choose to do something, if we stick with it, a lot of times it works out. But use your common sense. If it's not appropriate or if it feels like people are disrespecting you and it's not healthy, then get out, right? Don't stick with something that sucks. But if it's just our own pattern of wanting to run away from things, that's different. And so the next card, I pulled 2 for this one. That's interesting because the 5 of Pentacles is kind of a rough one. So this represents our environment, and this is something we can't really change. And the 5 of Pentacles is really a card of like our perception, what we don't really see that's right in front of us. And it's these old like ideas and thoughts. But in your case, it's like, there's so many options. There's so much I could do, but what do I do and how do I do it? And it feels overwhelming. And it's just like, I don't want to do anything. And with it reversed, it's letting you know, like, this pattern is been broken up. And this is really like the power of, with the Ace of Swords there, like a thought, an idea comes in and it's like, here, this will help. Here's this sword, like Excalibur. Here's Excalibur. You can wield this and it'll help you. But like King Arthur wasn't totally like a master or very balanced. I think he even had like in some stories like mental illness. So the sword made him all powerful and he's able to rule a land, but he still had the inner work to do. But in your case, it's like, it looks like you've done a lot of that inner work and now you're being given the sword. So this is like some environmental opportunity. Like what I mean by environmental is so like a job opportunity or some kind of position or thing you could do or collaborate in and with that would be helpful for you in snapping out of like this pattern that maybe you noticed in your family or in the people you hang out with, where it's like we're all just trying to make it through this until the new earth comes or until things shift. And now is the shift is what I'm getting. We're in the shift now. And that's what's come through for the other piles too, is now is the time. And for each one, it's a little different. Some need to like really go within and find that frequency and energy. And others, it's like you need to put it out, step out into it. And with you, it's like, okay, ground into this reality, like ground here and do something that may seem mundane and boring, but it's really going to open you up and expand you. So I'm going to move these out of the way. And the next card is my favorite question to ask. What is it you need to know? And that was basically the topic of this whole reading is what is it? Pluto's trying to let you know what you need to know before Pluto leaves Capricorn. And so with the Queen of Pentacles reversed, I'm getting, this feels like, that's interesting. And, this is just what's coming through. But letting go of the feminine energy a little bit, like letting go of holding on to overly valuing the yin, overly valuing the subtle energy, the receptivity, and embracing more of the masculine energy. And I'm talking about the divine masculine, which we all have inner feminine and masculine energy. And I'm getting with the masculine energy, that's very much like this. That's very much this. And it's like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to show up and I'm going to do it, even though I don't really feel that great about it. And it feels a little off. And I'm noticing these things I don't like. And then, really being like, you know what, I'm going to go into this, environment or this job or whatever it is. And I'm really going to show up in my best. I'm going to be like an acupuncture point that's anchoring in this amazing, calm, loving energy. And I'm going to do my best not to judge myself and others. And not saying the feminine does that, but the feminine energy feels and notices everything. And there's a tendency for us to use our masculine to take that information from the feminine and turn it into like, well, what do I need to do to fix this? And what do I need to do to get away from this or whatever? And in this case, it's like, oh, what can I do to really just be a part of this without being overwhelmed by it, emotionally? And so that's where, our practices of meditation and breath work, just deep conscious breaths in those moments, is where the rubber meets the road, and where, you're no longer just a dojo master. I'm not saying you are, but a lot of people, they get really good at the practices when they're in the practice or when they do the routine, but can we bring it out into the world and live it? Because none of us are able to live in a cave this time. We didn't come for that this time. We've done that already. Now we bring the mastery out into the world and allow others to see it and be inspired by it. And so the final potential outcome with this is the star reversed. And what I'm getting with that is, yeah, because the star is when you bring the intuition down and you're calling it from above, and you're going to the above, you're going to those higher realms and connecting. And with it reversed, it feels kind of like the chariot energy, or the world, where it comes like into you, where you're bringing it where it's here instead of out there. So that's what I'm getting. That might be a weird take on it, but that's what I'm getting is like, well, wait a minute, it's here now. What if it is here now? What if it doesn't come from outside of me? What if it's actually in me? And it feels like that's what we're all stepping into in our mastery. And that's what, like, Yeshua, Jesus, meant, in my opinion, when he said, I am the sun. Like, he embodied the higher self. He embodied the SUN within him. Like, this energy is down in here now. So you can see that as, I'm trying to think of what other card would depict that. But that might be the best representation of what comes out, versus like the strength card would be similar to, where we embody that energy and we're able to like dance with nature and be in proximity to it. But this one feels more like it's not maybe an environment you want to dance with, but you're your own sun within that environment, and things can't impose on you, and things will be repelled from you because you're in that energy field of like the sun. Like, nothing gets into the sun and nothing comes towards the sun unless it's in resonance. So that's what I'm getting for the outcome, is like embodying this energy that you've cultivated, and then stepping into an environment that's would benefit from that, and not from an ego place or that anything even needs to be changed, but like, I'm going to go into this realm and see how it is. I'm going to go on this adventure and really use it to be an opportunity to help me ground and help me find a way to be on the earth, but not of it. Kind of another, biblical quote, to be in the world, but not of it. That's what I'm getting for that. Let me tune in if anything else is coming through for you guys. Thank you if you're still watching or listening. Let me focus again over here. Okay, so wanting to acknowledge whatever happened recently that's left you maybe feeling a little like confused and wanting to kind of find something new to bring you into a higher realm, or to kind of get away from everything. And, these things are purposed, and it sucks, but like, stuff we hope for and things we really wanted can like fall away. And it's really so it can lead us to something even bigger and better. Not that there's bigger and better, but there's like what our soul wanted to experience, what our higher self is guiding us towards. And things that aren't in resonance with that will fall away. but like remembering that there were good times, but not fixating on it, because we don't want to like, get stuck in the past and be overwhelmed with trying to figure things out or think what went wrong or any of that. It's like, how do we live here now? And a good practice for that is when you wake up in the morning or anytime you feel overwhelmed, is to close your eyes and breathe, focus on that breath, be with that breath, and then be like, okay, what day is it? What's the date? What time is it? And you just go over that, and then like noticing what you hear around you, like what are the sounds? And as you do that, you'll notice, the sound of your own breath. And as you notice the sound of your breath, you start to notice the body, and you start to notice the heart beating, and maybe noticing energy in the body somewhere, and just breathing with it and acknowledging it rather than trying to make it mean something or process it or figure out what timeline it is or where it comes from. But just like, oh, maybe this is like a childlike part of me, that it's nothing good or bad. It's just a little sad or it's a little angry, and I can just breathe and hold space for that and allow whatever is revealed to be revealed, and then move towards, what is it I need to do today? What is it that I committed to doing? And I'm going to do that because I have the drive and determination. All right. So you guys got the White Lion leadership and the Dragon Oracle. Dragons are awesome because they're fierce protectors. So it feels like you guys have a sensitivity to energy and a higher awareness of, or yeah, basically seeing more of what's going on around. And that's not always appreciated or understood in the collective, but it will be. It's super valuable. It's what allows me to do this work, and for us to feel the connection to all things. And more people are going to be experiencing the same thing. And that's why this is great for you to find the balance with that old 3D world and then what we're moving into, because a lot of people that are still in that world barely are like having a hard time, because that's not really the world we're living in anymore. It's very much more like a 4D reality. And so for the Dragon card, you got Alpha Dragon. Harness the divine masculine power of creation. So that's basically, what I was saying with here and these energies is embracing more of the masculine energy, to go in and be like, this is what I'm doing, this is who I am, and this is what I'm offering, and still maintaining the feminine connection to pivot and listen to like your body when it needs some care, or something's going on, or something doesn't quite feel right. And like this masculine energy of like, you know what, I can do this, I have clear cognitive function. I'm guided by the divine. I can do this job or this thing or whatever it is, and it doesn't have to overwhelm me. I'm strong. I got this. And so destroy the old, visualize your dream, help to manifest a new world. And that's really what this is like, you're going to help anchor in the new world. This is what you came for. This is what we all came for. Now is the time. And everything you've experienced before now has led you to like, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's do it. And then with the White Lion leadership, it's a great deck for that, because that's really what a leader is somebody that just leads by example. And often the leader is behind everyone. I used to work with adolescents in the schools, and it was challenging because I had to win them over, right? I had to have them invested in doing these groups where we sit and talk about things and share what's going on in our lives. And we had to build this connection and rapport and like a willingness to even be there. So you use food and stuff, of course, but when you find the leader, every group has a leader, and it's not me. It's not the adult. It's one of the students. When you find that guy and, work with them and, empower them to their leadership, then the whole group thrives. And often I'd watch these guys. Sometimes it was obvious who it was. Other times it wasn't, but they often would walk behind everyone, but everyone would look back to see what he was doing. And so this is the way showing we talk about is, we're just doing our thing and we're just moving along and we embody it, and then people are inspired, and then people follow us, and people come to us like, hey, how did you get here? Like, what is it you do? And then you can tell them, oh, this is the stuff, this is what I also offer. I just work this because I just do this job because it's something that, I felt would be important for me, or whatever that is, because you'll know what to say. And then, but what I'm really passionate about is this, and they'll be like, oh, wow, yeah, I want to know about that. Can I have a session with you, or whatever it is? And that's how it happens. And before you know it, it's like, it's just happening rather than something you needed to even visualize or try to manifest. So you got reality, which is perfect, because it's like, what's the reality? And I know we hate that word because we're ready for the new earth, and it's here. And it's like still more transformation happening. And that's our point. We're of being here is we're the transition team. Like it's still going to take a little time, but time is irrelevant. It could happen a lot faster than we expect. And yet it isn't fully. But there's a lot of people that are going to be freaking out a little bit. And that's what I'm getting with you, is like you being in a different environment than where you'd normally be is going to help a lot of people. And so I want to read what this card represents for you guys. And thank you for being here, and thank you for all that you've gone through, all that you've really worked to embody. Like, you're amazing. Like, I don't think you always get recognized for that, or people see how great you are and how much you've accomplished, because so much of it is internal. But now they're going to start to see and appreciate, because we're in a different world, and what you've cultivated is going to be valued. Like, oh wow, I really like so and so, because I just feel good when I'm around them. I feel better. My mind's calmer, and there people who want to try to like think, that you may have people attracted to you because of that, and it might be confusing for you or them, like women or men be like falling in love with you when there's not really you, it's the energy. So just kind of be aware of that. But be responsible. Don't take advantage of people, which I don't think you would, because you know what that's like to have to go through that. But yeah, it feels like that. It feels like a field of energy that people are just going to be drawn to, and you're going to be doing some job, but it's not really what you're doing. So don't let that hang you up, and don't let it be like a qualifier of your value or worth, because that's not the case. That's the old 3D mentality. So reality. Virtual reality cannot sustain reality. The basic guidance is, this card asks you to identify reality of the situation. What do your instincts and senses tell you? What is your inner knowing? When words and actions don't match, trust your inner instincts and observe others' actions closely. Equally, this card may require that you get back in touch with yourself. Get real. Where have you been living a lie? Have you been lying to yourself to avoid the truth? Ask the lions for courage to see the situation truly, whether about yourself or others. Lion instinct never lies. So there's a part of you that knows what you need or what you're being guided to or pushed to. And the other part is like, oh God, I don't, which I can relate to it totally. I feel you. So advanced guidance is a cautionary card forcing a reality check. Remember, lion, shaman, warrior. Illusion cannot sustain reality. While humans cling to our fabricated worlds, real life is dying. Illusion lasts only as long as reality itself survives. Once the plug is pulled on reality, we all go out the dirty bath water. Investigate bravely and honestly where your life is clinging vainly to smoke and mirrors, lies, deceit, paper mache, pipe dreams, cyber reality, or delusions of grandeur. The white lion sees in the night. The lion heart knows the truth and uncovers Sherma. I'll look that up. If you follow the white lion's lead, you will build a kingdom on solid ground, not castles in the air. So that's basically what it's showing here is, I think I even said that, like the head in the clouds kind of thing, and needing to be more grounded and come down into the earth connection. And this isn't a judgment. You didn't do anything wrong. This was your path to really go into those other realms and experience this other energy. So you can help people that they're going to be in confusion and they're not going to know what to do. And so again, it's like your role, and you do what's right for you. This is just a general reading, and your own intuition and guidance is there for you. I'm just offering perspective. Is your role is to be in an environment where you can impact change. And if we're surrounded by all the others, in an echo chamber saying the same thing, it doesn't really change the world as much. I mean, the field does, and it's great and it's fun. You can still do that. And there's like, I'm feeling in your case, it's like there's part of you, like your higher self's guiding you to go in a certain direction, and there's been some resistance with it. But I'm here to let you know that it's okay. You can do it. You got it. It may be a little uncomfortable. It may be like hard to see why you're there because it just feels so disconnected, and the people aren't really very awake and aware, but you are, and you're going to see the love, and you'll see them at a deeper level when you look beyond their words and their perceived, facade. You're going to see the beautiful beings they are and really help draw that out of them just by being yourself. Okay, so I looked up chimera is the word. And so in Greek mythology is fire-breathing female monster with a lion's head, a goat's body, and a serpent's tail. So it is a thing that is hoped or wished for, but in fact is illusionary or impossible to achieve. So that's what it feels like, is there was something you were trying to achieve that in this reality isn't really possible, at least right now, maybe later. And so that's what that was connecting with the white lion card. The white lion sees in the night. The lion knows the truth and uncovers chimera. So it's like uncovering that illusion and seeing through it. So that's what I'm getting for you, pile 3. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that was helpful. You guys, you're amazing. You're ready, step into that thing and try it for a year. If you have to pivot, great, but you're strong enough. You have the willpower, you have that inner focus, you have that deep feminine connection. And now it's like allowing the expression of that in the world more with some of the masculine energy. Like, okay, I'm going to stand in this. I'm going to be in this place. I'm going to be here, and I'm going to be okay. I got an alpha dragon, and this is what the like Foo Dog I was saying represents, is like the alpha energy, the yang, like, okay, I face what's coming. I'm ready. And you know how to navigate it internally too. So that's what I'm getting for you. I'm excited for you, and you got this. And until next time, thank you so much.